Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Local Pundit. I'm Josh Anthony. This is your Wrexham Daily News and Update Show, The Breakfast Club, for Wednesday, February 4th. Yes, we are halfway through the week, and it's been a big week already. And we're heading into the Millwall match on Saturday, which will kick off at 7:01, and we'll talk about that, 7:01 a.m. my time, 3:01 p.m. local time, and we will talk about that briefly too. But yes, we are we're sneaking in a Breakfast Club before pundit picks because Ken's got to get the creative math going. He does it in his sleep. He's just kind of like algorithm cheat. So he's got to do that later on. But anyways, got some things to talk about today. It is a news show. We're going to talk about, unfortunately, there is a Tom O'Connor update, although he's not in the squad. We're going to update that too. And then Parkinson has his say on regards to signing Davis, Keeler, Dunn, and Viner. And there's an article here. I didn't know if y'all know this, but Matty James and Viner did play together at Bristol City. And there is some cohesion there that I thought we could address as I'm slowly leaving transfer deadline day and getting more positive of what we're doing in this season. And I think our first big test is going to be this Millwall game. And we can address that too. But in this month of February, we got, I think, 6 matches. It's going to be a big one, and it will come to fruition where we're going to be, or if there's going to be a reset, that we have a settle back. But right now, we're in a good spot, and I want to talk about that too, because I think the squad is squadding right now. And I'll go out on a limb from what I said after deadline day. I know we didn't get that marquee signing, that one, but I think what we did, the business that we're doing, it was absolutely phenomenal, and I'm very, very proud of what we did. Now, granted, I played a huge role in it. Obviously, we did here as a community. So, we'll take all the credit. Obviously not. But anyways, thank you for coming in. Please smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the Local Pundit if you haven't already. Become a member. The members are membering. And what a fantastic global community. And unfortunately, this will be our last live show. According to Karen, she wants no more live shows. She wants less shows. Just going to put that out there to Karen. I'm obviously joking. It's not our last live show ever. But as you can see on the thumbnail, Wrexham are locked in. One squad, one mission. You know what that mission is? To get promoted. That is the goal, to get promoted, and we're going in for it. And some of the quotes from Parkinson and about his signings really address that and really show what the focus is. And I had said maybe 3 weeks ago, I was told they're going to go for it. Watch this. John had said, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? This wasn't our first choice or our second choice. After listening to Parkinson, I don't know. I think we were just going for a target, like specific target players to back everyone up and get in front. And I do like what Parkinson said yesterday. No one's coming in to replace anybody, which means that, like, on this day, this guy can play. On this half, that guy can play. And I think Parkinson is evolving, minus his subs. I think he's evolving of what he's doing for his established team. But anyways, Karen, there we go. I love it. All in here. The people are coming in hot and fast. What's up, Yo-Yo? How you doing, Habs? Ted's here. Yes, thank you. Please smash the like button if you haven't already. Harley, North Wales. What's up, Harley? How are you? Rick's here. Tommy's here. Danny's here. Karen is here, and she's wondering why we all do live streams, so many of them. I work from home, and I've dedicated myself to the Local Pundit. You know what? And when you're in the hospital room and things go tits up, sometimes you got to do a little bit more than you want to in regards to more of the live shows. So Chicky Brewer popped in. What's going on? Ruth H is in. Quick hi. Have to run errands for the parents. We'll listen tonight. Ruth, go run those errands. Listen, pick up the toilet paper. Maybe whatever else you got to get those things. I had to do it today. I had to get some toilet paper. I had to get some supplies for the kitchen. So go do your thing. You get it all here on the Pundit. What's up, PNE? Jeff, how you doing? Chief, what up, Chief Allen? How are you? And George, sticking on topic here. Broughton, DDK, our best friends. There we go. Exactly. That's going to be a positive. I like where your head is at, Paul. Sorry, George. And Paul's here. And Donna's here as well. Hair and makeup. Paul, I'm always in hair and makeup. Yes. Hey, Josh and chat. There he is. Steve Barton's back. What's up? And he's got his name back and his thing back too. Hip Karma, wake up, wake up, wake up. How are you? All right, let's start with the unfortunate news. And it is a news show, so I want to get your thoughts on certain things too, with the quotes from Parkinson and what's going on. But we'll start with the unfortunate news. We knew this, and it doesn't quite affect Wrexham immediately because he's not a player that is in our plans, unfortunately. And I feel bad for him, but this is coming out today. And it looks like Tom O'Connor is out for the rest of the season. He has confirmed the injury blow. This happened a couple of days ago, but I do want to address it because he is still on our books technically. So we can't just skirt over things as we usually skirt over things a lot too. But here we go. Phil Parkinson says it's unfortunate, but I'm gonna pull that down because that is ugly. And by the way, somebody in the chat the other day on the comments like, does he just go through X and go through online and get news? I'm like, yeah, where the fuck else are you going to get news? Just saying. That guy, there you go. Come back in and watch the show. Tom O'Connor campaign has been cut short due to a hamstring injury. He was a utility player. He was at Peterborough United on a season-long loan, but the 26-year-old was forced off against Posh. Patty is a huge Posh fan, against Argyle the other day on January 17th. Parkinson said, he said, Tom's coming back for treatment, so we've just got to work with him now and get him fit. It's unfortunate. He's out for the season because he is doing well, said Parkinson. A lot of clubs rang me about him and asked me about the situation, but that's part and parcel of football. Basically, he's come back with a scan, and Tom O'Connor is a good player. Is a really good player. It's unfortunate he couldn't make the jump with us. I thought he had something about him. Just going to point that out too. Parkinson wanted to say he had an initial scan, and it wasn't terribly bad, but the rescan has showed he's improved quickly already. So hopefully he'll be back running on the grass this week, added Parkinson. Now, that said, it's unfortunate he will be out for the season, okay? But he won't get a club because he's not getting another 25 squad. It's unfortunate for him. I do like Tom O'Connor. I like the profile of the player, and I think we have replaced Tom O'Connor with some other profile of players of his profile, maybe a little bit more higher of age. So he is out for the season. He will not be registered, and he did not get fit in time to go out to another club for a loan. So and stay at Posh. So unfortunately for him, that's not great news. But there we go. Hey, what's up, Marie from SoCal? I was going to talk to you about the Cosm real quick, but no, I'll do that later. Hab says it's going to be interesting how Parky uses the squad along with the additions. It seems to be an increase in depth, but in what way? So that's a great shout, and it's a good transition. It's almost like you read my mind. So we were mind melding there. So obviously we have Kayla Dunn, who's come through, and we have Viner that's come through, and Steve Wednesday as well, or Scuba Steve, whatever you want to call him. Bailey Katamatari, whatever. I'm not going to screw that up. I'm not going to go calamari because that's too obvious. So we're going to call him Scuba Steve or Steve Wednesday. Everyone's going to love that in the chat also, too. They're going to be like, who the fuck is he talking about? But how is he going to use this squad? So DKD does come back, and he does have a chip on his shoulder. Great. Parkinson had a couple good quotes on him. And why he signed DKD, why he did, and how he's going to use him, and what it is. So let's take DKD first. Then we'll do Viner and the talking points in that too. But Parkinson talked about why he signed him. He's obviously 28 years old. He scored 19 goals for his first season last year. He's a great player. I think he's left-footed, right-footed. I think Parkinson has had his eye on him for a while. And Parkinson said, Davis continues to develop as a player. He's a player who's done really well over the last few years, and he's got real hunger to prove himself at this level. We're looking forward to giving him his opportunity. Now, he's got his opportunity now. He has his opportunity back at Wrexham. In his opening, I would say, I don't call it speech, his opening interview, he said, DKD is back in his unproven business. Now, you talk about this yesterday where we said, hey, cohesion of the squad, and everyone wants to be, fighting for the same dressing room. There is some quotes here about, what Parkinson said about the dressing room and about not having a division, which shows me a little bit. He did mention Ryan Hardy in that, and he also did mention Elliot Lee. And Elliot Lee's exit interview is like he was at a corporate environment. No, he went to Doncaster. He just said, a gaffer that wants to play with me. He wants me to, that appreciates me, he said. So there's something about that. Now, I say now, Wrexham are locked in. We have one squad and one mission. And I think everyone who comes in right now is buying into the mission that Even Scuba Steve was saying basically, I want to get promoted. There's no reason why we can't do it. I think we want cooler heads that'll be like, okay, I'm here for the squad. I'm here for the team for one reason and one reason only, to get promoted, and to be a part of a group effort of a team. Going back to like, why didn't we sign that number one player who's like, oh my God, how did we get him? I don't think that's what the makeup of the team is. We haven't been that team in a long time. I know someone said we signed Sam Smith last season. We signed, we signed Fletch, we signed Macca, we signed Paul Mullen. I don't think we are a team led by one star. We are a collective. And I think that is why we have been so successful. And that's why I also think we are going to fight for this promotion. And I think it's a possibility. It could happen because of the collective, not of individuals. Premier League, yeah, you have Holland, you have things like that. This is a collective of players that have played, that have bought into the side, bought into what Parkinson and what Wrexham are doing. And I think that's going to make a difference. And I think DKD shows that is part of Parkinson's philosophy. Parkinson went on to say, he's got moments of real quality in his game. This is about DKD, remember. You look at his goals. He's scored, and he's been playing the number 9 this season. He gets his shots away from the edge of the box, but also he follows things in. That's aggression. Do not be surprised if you see DKD starting in a couple games sooner than we think. Sooner than I think. And additionally to that, oh shit, I just cut my hand. God damn it. All right, that's awesome. Live television here. I just cut my hand. I don't know. Oh, live television. Here we go. Well, yeah, as you know, it's live. I don't know how I cut that. All right. Anyways, moving on. So don't be surprised if you don't see DKD starting some games or getting into games early. I say that. Now, my number one issue with Parkinson, I know I'm getting off topic a little bit because it is a news show, but I want some things I want to get off my chest. I think that Parkinson, with some of the players that are coming in, might adjust his way he goes about subs and things like that. I could be completely wrong, but remember at the beginning of the season when he was like hold, it was like extra hold, it was really extra hold, and we kind of like wrote it out. Dobson's out there with his, hair slicked back, not quite top, not yet, but we looked at, he was dragging ass, and Parkinson did his thing to just keep them on the pitch. I think that now he has players and confidence in those players that he might move and adjust things with his subs and with players he's going to start. I think the rotation will be there. If you're hot, you're playing. I think that's going to be part of it too. I really did cut myself. You think I'm lying? No, I want to see it. I did. I slipped it. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. But I think this is the evolution of Parkinson and the squad, and this is why they're all locked in. And I think this is going to be on the one mission here. I like this quote too from Parkinson as well. He says he's always in and around the 6-yard box. And that's where he's got his goals as well. So he's got all types of goals. Now, if we take a player who we currently have right now, which is an O'Brien, who's in and around the box, who can't shoot for shit, but is always there, Parkinson likes that type of player. Now, DKD is a little bit more of an advanced player than O'Brien. O'Brien has effort levels that are just, off the charts. He doesn't score a ton of goals. This could be that guy that could be that swap out. This is why I think DKD is in the squad. Parkinson goes on to say, I think it's more of hunger and desire, which resonates with me. There you go. I think it's more hunger and desire, which resonates with me. Effort players, effort going in. I think that resonates. He likes this. He says, I like his story, says Parkinson. The way he's had to fought to prove himself in his career. The one thing we know is he's going to give us everything. That, like I said, goes miles and miles and miles. He's got talent miles and miles beyond whatever else you can offer. Those are intangibles that like Phil Jackson would get. And if you know who Phil Jackson is, legendary coach for the Bulls and also the Lakers, just absolute legend. Intangibles. He would get like a Bill Cartwright or a Paxson or somebody like that. Players that came in that just supported Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, a BJ Armstrong. They did certain things well, and he placed them into those star players, and they did their job. They knew their job. And it sounds like that's what it is. I'm not saying Parkinson is Phil Jackson, but it just hit me. Maybe he is. Maybe that's the squad that he's building. And if to all you U.S. supporters out there who know who Phil Jackson is, he did it with the Lakers. and he with Kobe, R.I.P. and Shaq, and he did it with Pippen, and he did it with Jordan. So Horace Grant, there you go. So I think some of these players, they're like plug and play the effort levels, and to hear Parkinson say, "I like what he is. He has something to prove." Maybe that's a little bit what Parkinson's trying to do here. Maybe that's what this season's arc is. And he would never say that, but the knock on Parkinson, and this there are plenty from other people, and even myself, and the support there is that could he handle in the championship? Sorry, could he handle in the championship? Could he get over this hump? Oh, he wasn't backed, and look what he did with Bolton, all those things. So maybe he talks about having a chip on his shoulder for bringing a DKD guy in. Maybe that's what Parkinson's talking about here. And that's why the guys that are coming in, he's like, okay, come on in. And now, granted, let's take an Elliott Lee. And I don't want to call him out, but I don't call him out because it has been said that Elliott Lee, call out the gaffer, be like, I want a manager that believes in me and wants to give me an opportunity. I don't know, there's something there. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? The chat is going off right there, too. There's a couple more quotes here, and then I'll talk to the chat. And I want to get your thoughts on that, too. And then we're going to move on to Viner and why Parkinson chose a Viner. Parkinson says he knows a few of the boys already, and I'm very pleased that we've got him, says Parkinson. This is, remember, DKD. I think this is some guy that we looked at. I thought we would get him over the summer. It didn't happen. But I think there's a makeup there of what Parkinson is really looking for, and I think this is going to turn out well. And I'm going to give massive credit to Matt from Racecourse Ramble, who had said, he's like, be surprised, don't be shocked if DKD comes in and impresses everybody. He said that, I think, yesterday, 2 days ago on the Deadline show. So shout out to Matt, Racecourse. He did say it. He's like, don't sleep on him. You got to give him credit for that too. Let's get to the chat a little bit. I want to get your thoughts, and then we'll move on talking about Scuba Steve and everyone else there too. Hit Karma says like and subscribe. And this is where this all came from Habs right here. Exit interview, love it. Sorry about that. Yes, that was there. Habs says, I suspect that he will use DKD as the 10-11 position and use O'Brien in the double pivot. Yes. Sorry about that. My finger's fingering. Jesus, it hurts. Kyle says, local pundit is still up and running. All is well. Yes, he is. Of course I am. And the cuts are cutting. Ted says, the fact that we are speaking of competing for the playoffs and possible promotion is an indication of exceeding expectations for the season. Up the town, Ted. Yes, Ted, that is it. At least Josh doesn't have to go to an A&E since he's already at the hospital room. Okay, yes, I did cut my finger. I don't know how I did it. Now, Kyle says, talking about DKD, subs before the 80th minute would be earth-shattering for our February matchups. Kyle, I think we're going to see it. I do. I know Parkinson likes to give his starting 11 the opportunity to go and play and go and get things through. To try to recover through themselves. Our first halves have not been great. Our first half of football throughout the season hasn't been really that great. Let's be honest. Our second halves have been awesome. Got to give credit for that too. So we're going to see how this goes down. But I think there's an evolution that's happening here. And bringing in this squad and getting that depth, having not drop off in each position, I think is going to be fantastic. I really do. Martin Tidd, what's up, dude? I hope one new signing will come on against Millwall, but I'm not sure. Parkinson hasn't. Not sure previously, I think you're saying. Phil hasn't, so hopefully he will. I think what you're saying is, I think if we're reading the tea leaves, is that Parkinson doesn't use his signings right away. Well, I don't think he's had the quality of signings that we have right now. I do see your point. If Viner is fit, I'd like to see him on the bench. I don't think he'll go right into start. I think DKD could be on the bench, but Parkinson also does. Steve Wednesday might not get on the bench for a couple games. I could see that happening. And Steve Wednesday cannot play in DKD, and Steve Wednesday can't play in the FA Cup, I believe, either, and neither can Viner. So they won't be playing against Ipswich Town. So we're gonna have to use them in the league. To your point, I don't think we've had the type of players, hold on. Oh, it's like hanging skin. Oh my God. I don't think we've had the type of quality of players to come in and actually affect the team right away. Matty James, I think, is one of our best signings. And it wasn't a sexy signing, but I think he's coming in and done very, very well. But it took a while to get in. So to your point, it could happen. Sorry, it could not happen, but it might happen. I think we have 16 games left. 16 times 3, you do the math. That's all we have to go. Those are the available points we have. And, if we want to climb we're in the playoffs, want to climb in the playoffs, and also maybe shoot for second. I know everyone thinks I'm absolutely out of my mind. No shit, Sherlock. But anything's possible. Believe, baby, believe. So we'll see what he does right there. Yes, Horace Grant, going back to the Phil Jackson comment I made earlier. Interesting take, Josh, named Phil, by the way. Yeah, there you go. Kyle's on it. Donna said, hey, what's up, Donna? And I loved your comment, Donna, by the way, about the person asking about, I can't pronounce names. Absolute legend. Donna's great. Donna says, in the video welcoming DKD and Bailey, which is Scuba Steve, one of the quotes in the hallway was, players win games, teamwork wins championships. It may have been something different than players, but it was like that, something like that. Well, you're right. Players win games, but teamwork wins championships. I think that's where we're at. I really do. Because, and I'm going to take her point there. And Donna, I think your daughter is a swimmer, if I'm remembering, or you're a swimmer. I could be way off. Talked to a lot of people who come on the show, but you made something about swimming, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. That's an individual sport. This is a collective sport. And bringing in DKD and the Viners, players like that, and Scuba Steve, I think we haven't been a team of individuals. We've been a team of a collective. And I think that's the DNA of what Parkinson's doing. So there you go. Hab says, I think O'Brien is going to be sitting in a deeper role. I like that in the double pivot, giving us a more aggressive and explosive midfield. Well, we have Thomas in there too. A good shout. Nikki D says, Josh, they can play both for us in the FA Cup. They changed the cup tie rule this season. They just can't play in the same round of 2 for separate clubs. Great shout, Nick. That's true. If it's true, fantastic. I appreciate the update on that too. Sorry, just give me a second here. I'm trying to stop the bleeding on my finger. God, trying to stop the what an embarrassment. Sorry about that. And Donna is the swimmer. Yes, she is the swimmer. I can barely swim. Come help me swim, please. She is the swimmer. Okay. Thank you for that update too. Chris says, knew the show was about to start and still missed all of it. Had to start at the beginning. Chris, sorry about that, man. But Karen wants us to not do as many shows. I don't know. Karen, I don't know if you're out there. I think that was a request. No more live shows. I don't know. Let's see. Parky needs to keep DKD playing and not sitting on the bench for too long. I kind of agree with that. Habs, listen, you're going to die on this hill. You did this for like 2 days. The beaker one. I don't know if it'll stick. Maybe I'll say it during the show. I don't know, but I'll give you the credit for that too. You're a good shout, my friend. Doc Wrexham, what's up, dude? With the mask on, I think you're in a helicopter of some sort. Not sure. I don't see why any of our signings I don't see any of our signings starting anytime soon. However, with the number of games we have coming in the next few weeks, we should see a lot of rotation, which should give opportunities to the signings. So, Doc, why? Why don't you see any of the signings starting? Scuba Steve, yes. Viner could. DKD could. I think DKD could. But it's a good shout. Bleacher, Flatch, sorry, guys. God, Jesus Christ. Talent wins games, says Alan. Yes. And I'm just going to move on a little bit here, too. I have a few more talking points, about him, about DKD, and then we get the Diviner thing. Caleb Dunn has consistently scored in League One, and his manager said, he's been effective at this League One level, and so he's going to get his opportunity to move up. He scored 13 goals in 24 appearances, and his finishing ability needs to be proven at the championship level. This is his time. He is at the peak of his powers there too. The connection is there for DKD. It's a club fit. He has something to prove. Great. I think Parkinson's going to get behind him. So I would not be surprised if DKD gets his opportunity sorted earlier. And is he a long-term success for the club? We shall see. So, I'm liking what's happening. I'm getting up. It's kind of like, how do I say this without getting fired off my own show? Coming off of the emotion of deadline day, as I sit back, I sit in my chair, I look out over, you know, the rest of the hospital room. I'm sitting there with whatever, you know, a Mason Perrier. I'm really liking what's going to happen. Now, I say that what's going to happen with our team. I say that, and I am really nervous about what's going to happen against Millwall. I really want us to show up against Millwall. And John asked us yesterday, would you take the point? It'd be great to do that, but I'd love to win. I don't want to say, I don't want to say I don't want to go in to lose it because I think that mentality sucks. I want us to impose ourselves, and I want us to. I don't think there's a fraudulent mentality with the team at this point. I think at some point during the season there was, but there's no imposter syndrome here. We've proved that we can play in this league. We've bought players to do so, and that's what happens. Unfortunately, when you have money, A, B, belief, and C, you have a management team and owners that are like, "Hey, we're here to get us promoted," and no one fucking believes in us. So go ahead and do it. And that's where we're at right now. So I'm definitely nervous about the Millwall game, and we will break that down. Tactic Fortitude is tomorrow night. We'll see how that goes down. We'll cover it as it goes. And anyone can beat anybody. And I know we've been on a good run. We're the best team since Christmas. But that said, I'm still nervous. Nothing is given. Nothing is automatic. You know, nothing is automatic. So we shall see. We shall see. But I think the one squad, one mission, we're locked in. And I have those three players. I have those three players on that on the thumbnail for a reason. I think Matty James. I think Viner. And I also think Hyam. Quiet Hyam. I say quiet Hyam because that guy is a 7 every single match, and you don't even fucking know he's there. Sorry to swear, Mom. That's what this team is about, and that's a spine right there. So let's see how this goes. Let's see. I think we built a good squad. I really do. I really think we could have built a good squad. Nikki D says, that's about like my Zach in the box for Viner long throwing. Oh, good shot right there. Hap says, I'm wondering how well he will work with the other 10s and 9s and the wing backs. I think he's talking about DKD. Well, remains to be seen, but he is quick. He is left-footed, right-footed. He can't score goals. I would say, I'm going to tell you right now, DKD gets on, you're going to see, if he doesn't push himself to go to try to do too much and plays within the system, I think you're going to see a player that's going to shoot, attack, go. I think you're going to see almost a Rathbone type. I think he's a Rathbone type. Kyle says the Millwall game is an inflection point for Wrexham. It is. I think it's highlighted a little bit more, by the way, in that regard because we've gone through this the transfer window. So like we've had this high, we've had this bringing players in. I think you're right about that too. So good shout right there. Good shout, Kyle. 2 other 9s, says Habs. Yes. If we win the Millwall match, then look out, world. See, Lord, from your lips, my friend, from your lips. Viner is injured. Yes, he is. It's Bailey. And DKD is not familiar to the system or other players. This will take time. Sorry, who's messaging me? Live show. Not good. Will take time. This will take time, maybe 2 or 3 more weeks. We have already the so-called A and B teams. Yeah, and true. We have the A and the B teams, and Patty put up the team that'll never fucking happen, you know, the formation. So good shout to Patty there too. We have a good squad. We built a really good squad. Dave Fields, are you new to David Fields? I know you're not new to the chat, but I want to know where you're from. Moore is going to find the back of the net, and Broadhead is going to have a huge game. The game will set the tone. David, if we do that against Millwall, big shout out to you, my friend. Millwall's a statement game, I think. It is. It totally is. Okay. Now, let's move on to DKD. Let's talk about Viner. And Scuba Steve is almost a luxury signing, in my opinion, so we're just going to focus on those two. Okay. So Parkinson had his say on why he signed Viner. And I find this great because there's 2 articles here. One from BBC Sport, and I'm going to do the Viner from the BBC Sport one first, and then I'm going to get to Parkinson saying. So Viner's grateful for James. Welcome at Wrexham. Zach Viner says he will lean on support from former teammate Matty James after reuniting with the midfield at Wrexham. I think Matty James is an absolute hidden gem of a player that doesn't I think I'm done bleeding. Okay, it's an absolute hidden gem of a player that we got last season that we were like, oh, sure, he's coming in. He hasn't been playing that much, and he's worked his way in the squad. He's great. So you're talking about a player right now, as Zach Viner says, who he's going to rely on. I know he doesn't captain a lot because now we have Heim in there, but I think it's going to make a difference. I really do. Obviously, Viner came in the other day. Viner said to BBC Sport Wales, he said, he's a great help for me because he's such a big part of the team and a senior player. When you go into anywhere, it doesn't matter how old you are. The first day anywhere is always nerve-wracking. To see a familiar face in the first day is a real big help for me. That'll help me settle in, find a place to live, and all that stuff. The little things away from the pitch as well are so big. To have someone to text or to pick up the phone is massive. I think that is such an honest way to look at things. We just look at these players as plug and play. Zach Viner is 28. He's played for Bristol City, and he should come right in and plug right in and fight for Max's spot. Think about that. Just put yourself in your own position. Have you ever started a new job? Have you started on something and it's like, oh shit, you just kind of don't know. You kind of want to prove yourself, but you don't want to step up and like have your ego take place. Having someone at a place where they can do those quote unquote intangibles, quote unquote, like trying to figure out like, okay, hey man, where does my wife and I, or my girlfriend and I, or my partner and I, or whatever the fuck, go and grab some food? Or we need to, yes, you can rely on the club, but like, okay, hey, what time? I know I have to show up at 8, but like, what's the best way to go? I'm going to go here. Hey, meet me outside of training, or hey, let's ride the training before I'll take a ride with you. I'll meet you at, wherever, and we'll drive the training together. We'll have a conversation. Those things are the things that I talked about, those other intangibles, one squad, one mission earlier on, why I think this is going to happen. And I think Viner, being a great player already, having somebody there, DKD already having players there too, is going to be very helpful. And I think that's why we talk about how are they going to adapt to the squad? What's going to be the gelling phase? I think this is why Parkinson chose some of these players. And Matty James, to me, just came in last season. He kind of knows the squad. It's great. We moved out a shit ton of players. This right now at this point, this inflection point with this Wrexham team, I'd say is probably the most broken down of what has been that's not right. Stripped down of historical players that are in the squad. This is a completely different squad. Max is the only guy. Maybe AO we can put in that too. Max and AO, those are the only two guys. The rest, pretty much, is almost a new squad. They've only been there 18 months or whatever. So the cohesion of the team right now is critical mass. So hearing Viner said, I can rely on somebody, I can come in, that's pretty goddamn good. That's pretty goddamn good. And the thing I don't think we realize how difficult it is. And I definitely kick every ball when we watch games, and I'm very critical. I get it, but I also support the team. But you don't take out these intangibles and have players come in. So I think all of this lock-in thing is going to be key, very key. Goes on to say, this is Viner saying, I never moved in January, but when players have come to where I've been in January, it's always been a very interesting one because normally the team can be settled. We are a team that is just getting settled, by the way. Just getting settled. Think about that. Just said, I've never moved in January, but it's been interesting to see players come in January and not be settled when a team is already settled. We are not a fully settled team, by the way. So let's point that out. Man City just scored, by the way, in the Cup. It's 3-0 against Newcastle. Carabao Cup. Okay. Viner went on to say, if you go into a team that's doing well, like I have now, Wrexham, the team is going to be settled and going well. So it's always an interesting one to see where you will fit in. So think about that. Player that's been at Bristol City for the last 12 years, captain, coming in to this team. It's okay. Where do I fit in? Am I going to start? Am I going to be behind Max, who's playing really well? Behind Heim? What's going on? He's got some things to think about himself, which I find really, really complex. And some things we don't get into the sports mentality up here too, because these guys are sportsmen. They want to play. And at the same time, everyone's coming in like, I'm buying into what we're doing because you know what the fucking goal is this season? To get promoted, which is impossible. And they weren't here last season or the season before or the season before that. So this is like, oh, we can make our legacy right here. Legacy right here. 20 years. He started at 8 years old in their academy. Great shout. Great shout. Great shout. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. All right. A couple more things here. Then I want to get the Parkinson side of this too. So I think this is really good about how we move looking at the squad. And you all can call me out in the next 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 days, games, whatever. When I'm like, hey, remember when you said this? So definitely call me out for sure. And don't let me get pissed. Goes on to say, Viner, for me, moving to Wrexham, my natural position is center half. I can play all 3 of them, and I've done this season. The versatility I've got to step in if needed into center midfield. I played the right wing back this season as well. Versatile. I just want to do what I can do to make the team better. I hope my versatility is going to be strong. Bonus for the lads and for the gaffer to use. Now, take that in. Take that in. The guy can play all across the back line, right wing back or right back, probably not right wing back, right back, or central defensive midfielder. You don't think Parkinson wanted him over the summer. We didn't get him. We didn't get him. Now, on the other side of things, Parkinson, this is in Leader Live. Richard Williams says Parkinson versatility, Viner's versatility for Parkinson will be a huge asset. Now, let me do that, and I get some of the chat here going. Because the chat is chat. I don't want to just sit here and talk at you. We'll make this an active conversation. It says a lot about Viner's hunger and drive that he chose his move. Yes, Viner's words will speak volumes to the future scouting efforts too. And I'm calling it. We will not lose another match, Chris. If we do that, great. But to that point, Parkinson said Zach is a player we've known for a while, and he's a really strong addition for us. He can play anywhere across the back 3. He's played midfield, and he can play right back, so he's a very versatile player. He's a great character who brings great leadership qualities, which is what Parkinson looked for, into the group, as well as I'm so pleased with him. I'm pleased with him. He's an experienced championship player, and we're looking forward to working with him. So now the issue here at the end of this article says, Wrexham returned to action playoff rivals against Millwall at the Racecourse Ground on Saturday, but Viner is likely to miss out because of a toe problem. So it's a toe. I don't know how serious a toe issue is, but it's a toe. But Parkinson's saying, hey, really strong squad, can play across the back, versatility, boom. He's got qualities at the championship. He's got qualities of leadership. That's exactly what Parkinson wants. Exactly what he wants. So he's got a toe problem. Probably won't play this weekend, so don't expect it. But this is fucking great. This is great. What's all happening here, coming out of getting away from the transfer window, is great. And I think we could kick into Paul Mullins on the weekend, but it's great. So let's see. Viner's words will speak volumes for the future scouting. Absolutely. As he said that. People won't like this, but I think Save Max campaign didn't work. He'll play this weekend. Chris, he'll probably play this weekend. Hap says, I'm very curious how Parker will set up for the weekend. Yeah. Well, you know what the great part about that, Haps, is? He's got options. He won't have Viner this weekend because they just basically admitted he has a toe problem. Whatever the problem is, I don't know. Will it be out for a while? Who the fuck knows? He'll be back soon. He'll be back sometime in the next few weeks. But bringing in a Viner, bringing in players like that, it just, again, everyone's talking about raising our ceiling, things like that. I like what we're doing. And if we lock in, and he's got players like Matty James that are already there to help him through this, we could see something special. Now, again, anything can happen in football. We're sitting in a really good spot right now. The table is tabling. It's really tight. Riding white and it's so tight. It is so tight. But we shall see. But the business we did 13 deals. 13 deals, ins and outs, permanents, loans, things like that. Now, granted, I think with some of the loans, I think we might have pushed the problem to the summer. Might have pushed that problem to the summer. Fine. Okay, fair enough. But that's that. Right now, we're focusing on the now. And I know short term, people talk about being short term isn't always how people want to go through life. But in regards to what we're doing right here, knowing what the owners want to do and the ambition, which is to get to the Premier League. And I know everyone talks about, oh, the structure's not in place. We'll come back down if we go up. This is, how do I say this? How do I relate this to something that I know? In the film industry, I know it's a film, but this is obviously for football, and I know it's a business. It's total business. Like if you spend $1, I always appreciate the $1. In the film industry, it's like, okay, what's on the schedule for today? Here it is. Let's get through. We got to get through 6 pages. Boom, we got to get through today. Okay. Then it's the next day. So like every single day, when you're shooting, now I say that when you're shooting, that's what's most important. And shit is going to happen every minute of every day. And the problems are going to come out. So then you have producers that can handle things. Those producers are the management team, Williamson, all those guys. Problems are going to come up, and they're going to deal with the problems. On the day, Phil Parkinson, let's call him the director, right? Has to get on the pitch every day, put a team on the field that can go perform. There you go. So everyone's working in cohesion for their own part of the story. The prep work has already been made. Now, I know it doesn't, we're doing the work behind the scenes. We talk about doing leg day, getting players in. Prep work has already been done. And so on the day-to-day business, that's happening all behind the scenes. And I think that we have a real opportunity. I think we're going to see the best. I think we might see the best next of Wrexham coming in the next 16 games over the next 3 months. I could be totally wrong. I think we're gonna, if we perform the way we've been performing and all the things start falling into place, you're gonna see something magical. Now, it could be minute 38 on the weekend against Millwall, and I'll lose my fucking shit if we're down like 3-0. Obviously, sorry to swear, but it could happen. But I think we're gonna see something special. Who's rage baiting? I missed it. The Viner stuff, blah, 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 blah. Don't kill me. With the players that left during January transfer window, you won't have many disagreements with the players that were sent. I agree with you too. And C. Lord says, I think Viner is a starter when he's fit and properly worked into the squad in training. He's a good player, and Bristol fans are gutted he's gone. It could be. Parkinson will make that choice. Hip Karma says, I love you, Josh. The season of us losing in the Premier League and going back down again will be hard to watch you and the TL peers. I will say this, Hip Karma, and that's a great shout. It will be fun to watch us lose in a certain way, because when we get up there, not if, when we get up there, this season, next season, the season after, it will be so much. It's not gonna be fun to lose. It's not. But it doesn't mean we will get our asses kicked every game. It'll be fun to watch. We're in the Premier League. You're right. But the TLP community will have a different opinion about ourselves. I think that chip will always be there on our shoulder to like point, want to compete in games. But I don't think it'd be as bad as what we're looking at, because we don't know what the squad will look like. We don't. You got to look at it something like, oh my God, look at that will be part of the journey. I hope we get there. I really do. It'll be hard to lose a lot of games, and I think my mentality will be a little bit different, but it'll be a lot of fun, and I want to see it happen. I hope we have that problem. The gel is gelling. There you go, says Kodaf. And just imagine the documentary we actually did get from where they get. Sea Lord, you don't think that's on their minds? You don't think it's on their minds? Be great TV for sure, says Karen. It was me, Josh. I missed everything. What did I miss? I missed it in the chat. When we get up, says Chris, I think the new squad will be a lot more competitive than people think. Absolutely. You got to take it one day at a time. And Robin Wine will spend big. Yes, they will. Hip Karma, in the first season of the Prem, we only need to survive and strengthen the squad in the transfer window. Absolutely. The chat will be chatting Premier League or Prem relegated. Absolutely. No, it would be a great time. That said, listen, A lot was discussed today. Hope everyone had a good. We had a really good chat. It was supposed to be a news show. Hope we got a little bit of news, a little bit of background about what Parkinson was saying about the players that he brought in and why he brought them in. We're going to get an official 25 in the next couple of days. I think in the next day or two. I think it's probably already registered. It's probably already registered for sure. But it's been a lot too. Last thing I want to bring up here too before we get out of here. So this is important, and I want to bring this up too. I know it's not, it's a news show, so there we go. Wrexham's huge game at Millwall will start at 3:01 p.m., 7:01 our time. The reason why that is, and I'll bring that down, Wrexham will notice something a little different during Saturday's match. The Wrexham's huge EFL Championship clash with Millwall will begin at 3:01 p.m. instead of the traditional 3 p.m. in support of New Health campaign. Okay. All 36 EFL fixtures from February 5th through the 9th across all 3 EFL divisions are set to kick off 1 minute later than scheduled as a stark reminder that every minute matters when it comes to performing life-saving CPR. Launched in May 24, the campaign has already encouraged more than 400,000 people to begin learning CPR. Trevor Birch, Chief Executive Officer of the EFL, said our 72 clubs sit at the heart of their communities, and they show time and time again how football can drive real-world change. I go around the world. Who you support? Have a conversation right there. This is different, though. This is more important. The 1 minute kickoff adjustment is a simple, powerful reminder that swift CPR can be the difference between life and death. Since the launch of Every Minute Matters campaign in May 24, over 400,000 supporters have already begun learning CPR. Now we're calling on supporters everywhere to join them this February to help us pass the 500,000 mark. They want to get over 500,000 people. That's why this game this weekend will be kicked off at 3:01, at 7:01 our time. So there you go. That is why I wanted to get that last one into and just give everyone that big shout out to. So remember, if that, how do I say this? We've seen people, collapse on pitches and anywhere else, whatever, revived on the pitch. There's obviously part of this too, but that is why it's a good campaign. So let's appreciate what they're doing. And I give much respect to them. A minute does matter in everyone's life. Life does matter. Love all of you. And that's really kind of powerful. It kind of took me back because I read the top article, but I didn't actually read it and exactly what's going on because I like to do it live with all of you. As you know, we'll be on the show. So we do it live on the show. So I think that's pretty cool. So shout out to them. We will give a good praise to that too. So awesome, man. Really, really awesome. So that's why the game will kick off 1 minute later. And I wanted to get that in lastly tonight. Welsh Techie, what's up, dude, man? I miss you. You got to come on the show or I got to come on yours. If you need somebody to give horrible opinions, let me know. Submission squad list deadline is tomorrow. So we'll get that officially tomorrow. Cool. And go follow Eat More Chips podcast. I believe he goes home and away. Absolute legend. And we love him. So go follow Eat More Chips podcast. Great show, Josh. Vibes are vibing. Absolutely. We will beat Millwall, says Steve Barton. I hope so. And 3 out of the next, who said that, by the way? That's Steve Barton that said that. And Jay Martell. 3 out of the next 4 playoff rivals, contender or pretender. Let's go Wrexham. Jay Martell, well done, my friend. Well freaking done. So good. Love that, says Kyle. Talking about the why we're starting a minute late. And Steve Barton, my friend. Number 1 rule of CPRs. Oh, Jesus. I can't. Steve, we're doing this. We're doing the serious stuff. You just broke me again. Oh, I love you, man. I absolutely thank you for the super chat. And to keep it light, I understand. Jesus Christ, fucking threw me off. Sorry. Neil says, hi all. Karen, what's up? The Sunday did a 15-minute YouTube video. The Sun did a 15-minute YouTube video about Wrexham. I'll go check that out. Saturday morning can't come fast enough. No, it can't. Steve, no, stop. We don't do that stuff here. That's got to get ground. We don't do that stuff here. Anyways, Thank you for coming in. Please smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the local pundit if you haven't already. Become a member. Appreciate the super chats and the support. The chat was chatting today. We're heading our way into the weekend against Millwall. It's a massive game. Excited for it too. Go support all your other Wrexham channels as well. Like I said, Eat More Chips, Red Horde, and Racecourse Ramble. All of them did great work for sure. And over the week during the transfer window, and we got a lot left to do. We got 16 games left to go. I think Ken is doing the creative accounting later on for Pundit Picks. Tactic Fortitude tomorrow. Friday we'll do a game day, getting ready for the game on against Millwall, and then game day build up, live watch along, Wrexham Time call-in show, your show with Patty and Wrexham Reaction. So thanks for coming in. Please smash the like on the video on the way out, and on that bombshell, we'll see y'all soon.